March 15, 2023. Zurich. Credit Suisse shares plunged nearly 30% at their intraday low. By the closing bell, they had fallen roughly 24%. For over 160 years, this bank had stood unshaken. Now, in a matter of days, it was on the verge of disappearing. Executives stared at their screens. How did it come to this? That question wouldn't let go. But this collapse didn't happen overnight. Years of scandal, weak internal controls, and failures in risk management had been quietly building until the weight became too great to bear. 1856. Credit Suisse was born with a mission: to build out Switzerland's railway network, to raise the capital needed for industrialization from within the country itself. Railways, bridges, factories. This bank carried the future of a nation on its shoulders. Over more than a century, it grew into one of the most powerful financial institutions in the world. For Credit Suisse, trust was the foundation beneath everything: deposits, lending, asset management, all of it. March 2021. Two nightmares arrived at once. First, supply chain finance firm Greensill Capital collapsed. Funds holding roughly $10 billion in client assets were frozen, and the recovery of those funds dragged on for years. That same month, hedge fund Archegos Capital imploded. From Archegos alone, Credit Suisse absorbed losses of roughly $5.40 to $5.5 billion. Management kept making excuses. We will strengthen our risk management. The market didn't believe them. Fall 2022. Deteriorating performance, a string of scandals, and a flood of speculation in the media and on social media, the outflow of client funds began to accelerate rapidly. In the fourth quarter of 2022 alone, 110.5 billion Swiss francs in net assets fled the bank. The fear of clients moved faster than the words of bankers. What is trust in a bank, really? When it breaks without a sound. Sunday, March 19, 2023. A decision had to be made before the markets opened. Authorities determined that if a deal wasn't reached over the weekend, before Monday's opening bell, financial markets around the world would spiral into chaos. UBS acquired Credit Suisse in an all-share deal worth 3 billion Swiss francs. At its peak, Credit Suisse's market capitalization had been worth tens of billions of dollars. A storied institution with over 160 years of history had its independence brought to an end by an emergency rescue in March 2023. In the deal, ordinary shareholders received some compensation, but roughly 16 billion Swiss francs in AT1 bonds were wiped out entirely. That decision sent shockwaves through bank capital markets around the world. This crisis forced a fundamental reckoning with Switzerland's reputation as a banking supervisor and as a global financial center. And now, I want to put a question to you. Credit Suisse did not fall from a single failure. Small scandals repeated themselves again and again. Each time, management said the same thing: we will improve. In the post-crisis review, it wasn't just management failure that emerged as a problem. Regulators themselves lacked sufficient authority to intervene and correct course. Trust, when it breaks suddenly. But behind every sudden collapse, there is always a long history that came before. For organizations and individuals alike, the moment you keep making exceptions, the collapse has already begun. Before we part, I want to leave you with one final question. History only tells us the outcome, but those who lived it didn't know how it would end. If you had been an executive at Credit Suisse, at what point could you have said, stop? And in your own organization, your own life, are there places where you keep allowing exceptions to slide? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for joining me on this journey. The collapse of a bank is never just a financial story. The way trust accumulates and then shatters is a story that belongs to every organization. On this channel, we dig deep into the decisions of history's great companies and remarkable individuals, searching for wisdom that still holds today. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story. Until next time.